What's up, man? Welcome to episode 2, The Wire, man. Brought to you by your boy SNS Toledo. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter. Get me on Facebook. The page is SNS Toledo. That's the artist page. SNSbrand.com is where you can find all the music, all the exclusives, the videos. Subscribe to the channel right now if you have not. Hit the bell notification so whenever I do drop an episode of The Wire or the SNSU series, you are the first one to be able to see it. But today, we're talking about another topic within The Wire. Like I said, The Wire is going to be this show that's going to basically describe certain things within society through the context of this show, The Wire, and how they relate. Today, this is episode 2. We're going to call this one Fairness, the Curse of HAMSTERDAM. Now, if you haven't watched The Wire, let me explain to you what HAMSTERDAM was. So, there was this police officer, his name was Colvin. That was his name. He was creating a solution to a problem that was pretty much created by the police in the first place. So pretty much what he was doing is he was trying to figure out how he could stop the police from using all their resources and time on petty crime, like petty drug dealing, petty theft, and things like that. So what he did was he created this safe zone within the neighborhood where you can trap with impunity.
You're free to make your drops, collect what need collecting. Won't nobody bother you. You got my word on it.
What Colvin was doing pretty much with this experiment is he was creating the environment for one, but he was basically governing the state and also making the rules.
All out. Bill, we got that Rockefeller out here. We got that Rockefeller over here, yo. Over here, we got that Rockefeller, yo. Bill, we got that Rockefeller, yo.
WMD, right chair.
I hear the WMD is the bomb.
Any police officer that didn't know about the experiment would catch somebody on the street and they handcuff them, take them to jail. However, the experiment was so heavy, it got to the point to where they could call it entrapment because he was literally making these dudes, or letting these dudes trap in certain areas.
Give it up, motherfucker.
They can choose when to follow the rules and when not to follow the rules, which is a source of power, pretty much. So the world is pretty much like the HAMSTERDAM experiment if you compare it, because you got the heavy hitters, the shot callers, the people that are able to decide when a rule is being called or when it's not going to be called, and you also got the rule makers, the people that make the rules that they expect people to follow, but the rules are meant to be broken. Within The Wire, they had this one common theme. They always said the game is the game. So pretty much they didn't expect the game to be fair. So if you were to compare this to something, you can compare it to like a referee. So we can go take it back to like the Clemson and the Ohio State game. So we all know what happened in the Clemson and Ohio State game. Of course, I'm from Ohio, so anyways, but Clemson, they had the targeting call and they also had the fumble. The refs could have chose to not call the targeting. They could have chose to not review the fumble. However, they chose to make both calls, which is pretty much power. Now, Ohio State fans will look at that and say that's not fair. However, the Clemson fans can look at it and say the game is not fair to begin with. So that's pretty much life in a nutshell. But it's easy to get that perspective from the winning side. There's one scene in The Wire is very iconic to where they were playing checkers on a chessboard, and when D'Angelo pulls up, he says, "Y'all playing checkers on a chessboard? How y'all gonna play checkers on a chessboard?" Like it was just the most heinous crime in the world. And Bodie was like, you know what I'm saying, him and Wallace was like, we don't care, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? We just want to play. And D'Angelo insisted that they not play checkers on a chessboard with chess pieces. So that's another scenario where you can see Angelo wanting the rules to be followed, and Bodie just wanting to play the game. So that's another example that you can use within that. They just want to play the game, no matter how it's played. They know that the game is not right. Now, one example that D'Angelo gave within this episode is he said that in a chess game, kings always stay kings. However, in real life, that is not true, as you can see within the show The Wire. So Avon was the first king. He was able to run the neighborhood. He got his money right. He was controlling the area. And then Marlo came, and he basically pushed Avon out the spot and took over. If you listen to the Basquiat saying goes, most kings get their heads cut off. No king stays a king. And if you look throughout history, kings never stay kings. It's not fair. Got so many layers to the capitalist game, so many layers to life, that even somebody that has money is subject to rules and certain things that may not be fair to them because there's people that are in a higher position. What I would say, one thing that Marlo understood more than anybody on the show The Wire is that there's no right or wrong way to play the game.
You know, shit, some things just stay the same, man. I mean, the game is the game.
If there's no right way to get it, there's no wrong way to get it. You have to be resourceful. You got to work with what you got. Sometimes you got to play the game the wrong way. And if you look at, like in history with like the mafia was able to gain prominence just through these crime families and these crime organizations where they were bootlegging and committing murders and running these numbers houses and just running these drug houses and supplying drug dealers. And you see that also within the show The Wire when you look at like the Greek and things like that. But what the mafia uses, they use their power and their influence to influence politicians. They influence the judges. There were certain stories where the mafia, if they didn't like a certain call that the judge made, they would whack the judge. They had that kind of influence within the mafia, them kind of connections. They didn't take no for an answer. If they didn't want a certain thing to happen, they would make sure that it didn't happen. That's one thing that I can relate to myself. That's kind of the reason why I named my daughter Asada. Because if you know the story of Asada Shakur, she went to jail for a murder that her lawyer and everybody agreed that she couldn't have committed, and they took her to jail. However, her people came and broke her out of jail because they weren't accepting that call, so they made the call. The rules were the rules. She got convicted. However, we're not gonna make that call. So I'm gonna say it again, man. You got players, you got rule makers, and you got shot callers. Some people can make the rules, but some people gonna decide if those rules get called or not. And that's just life. Life is not fair. The game is the game.